Hello, beloveds. Hello, luminous beings. I'm so happy to be speaking with you today. As you know from, if you've seen my recent shares of pictures and videos from the lake from 2 days ago, I have just been so delighted to bring through and share to you some incredibly fun, amazing, powerful energetics that have opened up and are unfurling within us and around the planet at this time. So those pictures are on my, I think they're on my Facebook profile at this time. At some point, I'll get them shared in better places. So those pictures were from January 27th. I mentioned the dates because those of you who listen to these transmissions right when they come out like to be able to kind of think back into your own experiences and see where things match up. And it doesn't matter if they match up or they don't, but for those where it does, then there's a very interesting, fun support and boost to your nervous system, and also kind of an anchoring within your brain and within your mind and your mental models about the visceral embodied experience that you are having, and kind of thinking about how you want to integrate that. So I'm recording this on Saturday, January 29th, and I want to share with you a little bit about what's going on and what's happening with the energies and what's coming and just all the fun things that I'm feeling and bringing in. So these energies that have been coming in are, it's almost impossible for me to come up with words. And I sometimes I say that, but if you've been with me for a while, you know that's actually very rare for me to really be challenged to come up with words. If anything, less words is usually desired. Anyway, gotta love it. I love the words. I love my human. So the energies are so powerful. They're so creational, and in many ways, sort of all energies, within, all the universes, the many worlds, the many dimensions, the many realms are all kind of by definition creational. But these are very specifically creational, and what many of you may be feeling or have been feeling with them coming in, or may feel soon as they kind of express within you, is a new level of a kind of a maturation within, of a sense of self and a sense of purpose, mission, beingness, what you really kind of came here to be, or to do if you're thinking on the doing realm. And so this may feel very, very delightful, and you may have felt just an incredible calm confidence. And today you may be feeling little ripples of like, I'm not 100% sure about that. That's fine. Just ignore it. Just like keep going. Don't worry about it. They'll pass. That's just weather. That's just integration. And I've spoken about this before, but I want to remind you about the kind of the nature of our process is that we are typically either expanding or contracting, and the contraction times when we are in full capacity around our journeys and our expansion they're like breathing, right? And so as we're growing, as we're evolving, as we're becoming what we came here to become, there are these big expansions, and then there are these sort of in-breath moments where we're kind of integrating during these pause times. And they're not really actually pause times, they're integration times. For those of us with certain kinds of brains, that can feel very frustrating because we want that constant outward expanding, new awareness, new, what's the new thing, experience. And so it's a part of our development of capacity to learn how to lean into those integration times and to support them. So these this new level of kind of maturation within, a new sense of confidence or calm or clarity about, even if you don't know what it's about, like even if you don't have a mental model about it or words about it, that doesn't matter. The feeling within is one of, yeah, yep, that's it. Here we are. Okay. And there's a very it's like your midline, your inner column, your inner central channel, whatever you like to call it, just feels rock solid, just super strong. And this integration, if you will, of kind of the queen and the king within is powerful, and the kingdom that you are ruling. So, which is the kingdom of you. And so, as we move forward in our human time, we'll have this really fun new moon happening either the kind of overnight, January 31st into February 1st, depending on your time zone. But for up here in the Northern Hemisphere, that will be overnight. And that is a very interesting opening space that begins to occur. And throughout all of next week, there's just like gates opening. Like it's just sort of like floodgates opening one by one by one by one. And you may feel them sequentially, like boom, 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 and you're kind of just soaring up, up, up. They may feel also kind of like shifting in a manual gear, kind of sports car where you're like going on, up into the next gear, into the next gear, into the next gear as you soar along faster and faster. And just very, very beautiful, very high creational energies, very golden, and very light, very effervescent, but powerful. Not effervescent like, oh, you could just bat it away. There's it's not going anywhere. Earth, as I shared previously, Earth has closed her lower timelines. And so now it's just simply like the playground of how high can we go? What's the coolest, highest playground timeline we can create with Earth and support her to create? And what would my beingness and my resonance and my frequency as a radio transmitter, as a radio tower here on Earth, beam out, transmit out? What signal would I be sending out to support Earth into just the even cooler, crazier, most amazing, higher timeline than even she can imagine right now, right? And if you approach all of the things going on in your day-to-day human gravity-based realms from that question, you will find the extraordinary and the miraculous becomes your everyday, becomes your every hour, becomes your every second. I am not exaggerating. It is happening. It is incredible. Lean into it. Allow it. So much fun. So very, very, very beautiful things occurring. So as we go into February, we're just going to see more and more openings. And as I've shared in earlier episodes, throughout this 2022 year, we're going to just have this continued ramping up. And we have more, I feel, sort of portal points or change points or new phase points than we can possibly even identify or count that are coming up. But there is a sort of, let's see, how do I want to say this? There's a sort of increasing intensity, and intensity doesn't have to be a bad thing, okay? Intensity is just, it's just, intensity. There's just an increasing intensity throughout these next couple of months as we move into, in April, there's a sort of like liftoff experience, and then we're up in a kind of even faster moving in terms of the creational spaces throughout summer. And beyond. Now, I want to take one moment. I'm not going to spend much time. I don't spend much time on what's happening in society, and I for many, many reasons. But what I have said before and will say again is that society will come last. Okay, so the more you can look within, focus within, look to your relationship with the being that is Earth, supporting her creation and your role in that, whatever that looks like for you, energetically, just being that radio tower, sending out the signal that you want to send out. Right? And knowing also, of course, that that's radically impacting other beings on the planet, not just the planet being herself, but many that are listening to this, I know, are interested, feeling the call, starting to tune in to the fact that they did come here for a direct relationship with the being that is planet Earth. And so some of you already have this awareness and have this relationship and are wanting to expand your capacity to positively impact in it, and also expand your capacity to hear back, to receive back, to be in live, viscerally embodied, aware communication with the Earth being. And that is an incredibly beautiful journey to allow yourself to kind of open to and to expand into, and to find the pathways and the mechanisms that will support more and more of that happening. And then some are just now with these new phases that we've just begun, where we've had this sort of like boom, boom, boom new phases, where we are now, people are starting to really kind of open into awareness of, oh, 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 that thing that's been kind of inside me for so long, pushing me along, part of it at least is this. And for some, it may be like, and this is it. Like, here I am. Like, I'm opening up to it at last. And so, again, support yourself. Find the supports that are going to help you, that many are available and more will become available, because people who have the capacity to support others in this journey are coming online faster and faster and faster. They have to keep up with the demand, if you will. And I'm not talking about demand in a capitalistic sense or an economic sense. I'm talking about it in just the literal sense of the number of beings that are here on the planet in human form, that are opening, you might say awakening, that's a word that can be loaded for people, but that are opening into more and more of their entire being, which is, and allowing more of access to that cosmic self, to that cosmic being, the entire being within the embodied human self. So it's a very delightful time. So there are many pathways to go and to be looking for the supports that you need. The let's see. So we have society will come last, and society may have some messy times still ahead, but I sense that the worst of that is in the next couple of years. We have a interesting kind of, so I don't, what's the word that wants to be used? So the visual I'm being given about this, and this is for the year 2024, and the visual that I'm being given for this is like a roundabout when you're driving, and when you come to a roundabout and you can you're driving around in a circle or a traffic circle, and there are different exits off the circle, or you can kind of come back around. That's just the image I'm getting about 2024. Although I don't think there'll be a coming back around. I feel like that's closed. And so, the sort of choose your own adventure energetics that is the planetary theme for 2022, that will essentially describe or dictate what the exit opportunities off of that 2024 traffic circle kind of portal time phase change are going to be like. We have another kind of a big one around 2030, but most of us aren't really interested in looking out that far at this stage, so it's fine. And we don't need to be, right? And remembering that when we get too grippy about human time, Like, hello, tree frog mind, right? We have monkey mind where our mind is busy and da 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 and bouncing all over the place. Tree frog mind is a new phrase that's come to me because, for a long time in my private work with people, I have been speaking about the idea of grippiness, right? And like when you get really grippy in your thoughts and in your mind and even in your heart, where you're like really trying to control what's going on and how things are going to open and unfurl and what the outcomes will be and how others will behave and what will happen and blah, 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 blah. That grippiness never serves us. And so I've just recently started calling this tree frog mind, and I find it makes me laugh even more. And anytime we're laughing, our resonance is positively impacted. So just keep bringing your humor in to your human as much as possible. So we'll have more and more expansions occurring. Now, all right, I'm hearing that some of you have been wanting to, that you've been wanting very much to switch your income generating strategies to align with what you feel inside yourself without clarity about what that is, but you feel the drive internally to be in greater service in some way, and to be in greater relationship with both others and with the planet. And so what I would tell you is there are many pathways to think about that, but the kinds of the ways in which that might take place will become clear to you during this time period. If what I'm saying right now is resonating, will become, or at least more clear to you. They may become entirely clear to you during this time period, but not if you come at it with that tree frog mind. All right? That's just going to keep pushing it further and further.